It's set up.
Now it's working.
Oh, you see it now?
Hold on, I will see the,
It starts before the
You don't care about that.
yeah.
It's on now?
No, Mary Jo did.
Oh, no.
Before she left.
It looks like the-
I had this conversation with.
Got it, save it.
Oh,
Hold the meeting to order.
Everybody see that.
Oh.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided according to the provisions of the State of Wyoming and their Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, 10:40 Act 12A, by notice of the average of press of the Tri-County News, by posting and saying in the office of the full clerk, also the development of public citizen upon the public person of the meeting.
Roll call, please.
Carter Ackerman. Clay Coles.
Here.
Lee Gold.
Here.
Mike McNeil.
Here.
Abraham Muller.
Yeah.
Ellie Emmett.
Here.
Ronald Weisberg.
Here.
Pat Donnelly. Would you have a quorum?
Ask Mr. Mayor to, lead us in the flag, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Motion to approve the minutes of the February 4th meeting.
Moved. Second.
Mr. Cole, Mr. Allen. All in favor? Aye. Any old business?
Yes.
No old business. New business? None? Corporate counsel? Director report, please.
Okay, financial status report is in your packets on the back of the third page. Unless there is any objection, I think that reviewing line by line the financial status report we'll do on a quarterly basis I don't believe there's enough activity to report it on a monthly basis, so there's no
Pretty
objection.
self-explanatory.
And it's self-explanatory. Joan did a great job putting that together. Microloan activity, we did have 3 microloans this month. The first microloan is with True OBGYN and Birth Center, and that is in your packet. Resolution number 20-3-1, and the use of funds are toward equipment purchase and supply. Once again, our standard $35,000 loan. There is one contingency on this particular loan. The finance committee requested a signed affidavit that the loan proceeds will be used only for business purposes. The borrower has other monetary obligations, and therefore this was to ensure that the loan proceeds of the loan will be only used for business purposes and not to pay back those other obligations. And this particular business, they're a birthing center, of course. This is their second location. They have a second location that's opened up at 456 Chestnut Street here in Lakewood, of course. And once again, the finance committee recommends approval for that. The second one is the next resolution, which is resolution 20-3-2. This is for B&B Party of Lakewood, located at 173 East Kennedy. The purpose of the funds, $35,000 loan toward purchase of inventory, and also recommended by the Finance Committee for approval. And the third loan is Platinum Teletherapy LLC, and this is resolution 20-3-3. And the funds will be used, $35,000 loan, funds used towards startup costs. This is a startup business located at 301 Madison Avenue there in Lakewood. And what do? They're an interesting business. What they do is they have mental health care professionals, like psychologists and psychiatrists, that are able to provide their services through a teleconference platform. It's becoming more popular throughout the
rural communities in the country. It's really mind-boggling, but they're signing up. They're going to Washington State. That's where they're starting. And they're going to provide services to the different Board of Educations there. They sign contracts with the Board of Education because they don't have it's mental health professionals. It's also speech therapists. It's all types of therapy. And how it's
they're hooking up with someone that does this already. To me, it's just, it's unbelievable that it's out there.
Doing with eye care now too.
Really? Wow.
People sit in the chair, the doctor's on the TV screen on the other side of the room.
Wow.
Charges you double for that.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty incredible, business model. Yeah. So, so the finance committee was very impressed with that, application and, also recommend approval for that. Well, just to mention, it's been requested in the past, and I think it's a good practice, the business owners, True OBGYN, that's Jeff Srulowitz, so if anyone knows, and he's recused. B&B Party of Lakewood is Abraham Schwartz, and Platinum Teletherapy is Zeb Irwin.
And I just want to say that, yes, there is that, the doctor owes that, and that's, but it's all explained, the personal debt, that they had a breakup from another business, and then who the insurance company should pay, they're paying the business and paying them. So they're still working through that. It's not, usually bankers don't like when we see people that have a lot of personal debt. It's explained over here. We just don't want our proceeds to be used to pay off that debt.
It's justified.
Yes.
And I don't think we're going to use the proceeds to pay the whole.
No, you can't, but they just, I think just as a fail-safe, they requested this affidavit, this contingency, which we'll get, Okay. Next item is a discussion regarding a request from the Ldc Authority if they would allow a third lien for our microloan program to allow third lien mortgages for our loans. We've had, I don't know if it's a rash, but we've had a number of loans recently with loan applications that have come through that happen to have two liens already on their subject collateral. And we've got.
So we're talking about that the equity is still there. There's equity. We go up to 90%, I think, of value. The equity is there, but right now, policy only allows us to go up to the second mortgage lien.
Right.
And we're thinking that possibly of doing the third mortgage lien. And in all honesty, I'm being recorded over here, and the world shouldn't find out, but if we have a $35,000 loan, and someone has a $500,000 in front of us, and they default on our loan, are we gonna go pay all $500,000 to protect our 35? Probably not. It's more, you're holding their feet to the fire by having a mortgage on their house, right? It's more of a psychological impact. I don't know if the second or the third really makes a difference.
Is that yet to give a grant, or is that yet to really be?
No, it's a loan. To get paid back, we get paid back.
Is there any, both from a banking perspective and a legal perspective, is third position any worse than second position as well?
Yes.
I mean, I know, assuming there's enough equity and all that.
No, you have to pay
Just the
off
fact
two
that it's
positions.
third.
If there's enough equity, it really doesn't make a difference.
It's technically worse because you're behind two
You gotta
priorities,
wait
but,
longer,
yeah,
okay,
but if you have
Stand
enough
alone.
equity.
Have to stay there.
Yeah, however, this might be a moot point anyway, because Sean had reached out. I'll let you take over, Sean.
Yeah, so the UEC is of the position that, it may make sense, but in terms of where we've been and what they're authorizing us to do, it's something that they're not in a position to give us the green light on. It might make sense, but, we don't want to run afoul of their procedures. And so it's something that David and I tried to get them to kind of buy into it, and nobody really wants to do that. And it's, you're dealing with the bureaucracy, well-intentioned, but they didn't
Well,
want
we
to.
didn't get a no, but they didn't want to give a decision on it.
Well, they're basically turning around and saying, we're not saying it's okay, proceed
Not saying to do it.
proceed at your own risk. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't be comfortable saying that it's something we should undertake. It's something that they're not saying we should be able to do it, so
How about with second gen funds?
we've done it, right? We've
No,
done it.
third liens, are we still bound by their requirements?
Quality funds.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are.
So, that's kind of, if the board wants to kind of vote to a position that's contrary to Trenton, I wouldn't advise that. It does make some sense. Maybe what we do is we try to get them to agree to it in another level, and so that they may.
I guess, as far as we're here, what makes sense, are you saying to us that it makes sense to do it?
It makes sense for the person who's receiving,
Well,
sometimes what they want to do is they want to get a better financing arrangement, right?
I mean,
Banker would know how to-
regardless of what Trenton or anybody else may say, if the board thinks that it makes sense and we're helping people, then it makes sense to do it. That, I mean, that's just how I look at it.
Well, we had a discussion at the finance committee, a week and a half ago, and we discussed this issue, and the bankers, and the lenders on the finance committee all were in agreement that putting a parameter of up to 90% CLTV, combined loan to value, of all the loans that are out on the property would be, for a $35,000 loan, would protect our position. So the finance committee was of the opinion that it should be okay.
Yeah, but do you want to run afoul of-
Save for the fact that, you know, it's not prescribed by the UBC. I'll quote you the language in where this policy comes from. It comes from a policy circular from 2011. And in that policy circular, it says real estate-based loans shall be secured by recorded first and second mortgages backed by, et cetera, et cetera. So it doesn't specifically exclude a third lien, but it says you shall secure with set first and second, so it implies to the exclusion of a third lien.
Well, let me see, let me just go through this logic.
Yeah.
From a financial and community legal point of view, we're saying we should do this. Okay, so now the question is legally, can we do it or we can't do it?
Right.
And we have a policy circular, I guess it's not regulation, but it's an opinion, a policy circular.
It's not language in the act, but it's
Right.
put out by the, yeah.
Okay, now, there was a time when we got direction from Trent basically saying, when you approve projects, you're on your own. Don't ask us, and you take responsibility locally for that. Do you recall that?
Well, but we had a prior,
Project approval and stuff
The
like that.
statute, the language of the statute changed, and we went back to Trenton to get a clarification as to whether we could do certain things. And at that point, they said, well, it's really, we're not gonna take a position, it's up to you and your council. And I looked at it and I said, to me, the language is so black and white that I don't feel comfortable saying we can use the money for those things. So what we did was, we then did a competitive contracting thing where we opened it up.
Right.
So I believe that was completely
Turned the grant
completely above board the way that was done.
Okay, but from the strictly legal point of view, we're not in compliance, we have a liability if something went wrong because we didn't? We
I mean,
did something against the policy?
Not necessarily think it's a big risk, but it's something that powers that be are not really saying it's okay to do it, so.
I'm just wondering if they're just pushing the can to you, or they're saying we're not really okay in this. What is it?
I mean, yeah, again, I mean, it might make sense from a banker's perspective, but, you know, the answer might be to revisit it and maybe try to educate them more and try to get them to open their eyes a little bit. But, I mean, I just don't necessarily think it makes sense to.
maybe if the board wills it, we should make an additional effort.
Wouldn't even touch it.
I guess they
Why
were.
have a conversation?
Right.
I get this question.
That's a good approach.
So, obviously, we have, this is a work in progress to try to figure out, you know, the legal angle if we can do this. Going back to the borrowers here, the potential recipients of this loan, have they exhausted all other possibilities of coming up with collateral? Or?
I mean, these particular loans,
These
they're attempting to find other sources
They are.
of collateral. They're attempting, but I haven't heard any of these. I think we have 3 loans that fall into this issue. Yeah,
3.
3, there's 3 pending applications that have this issue. Okay.
So there's a need.
Yeah, it's not uncommon, you'll have someone with a mortgage and a line of credit.
Yeah, mortgage, home equity, and then a home equity line of credit. And you can
We'll max out the line of
Even
credit.
if it's not used,
We look at the
that
full
comes
amount.
in, that's a second, you look at the whole,
Yeah.
potential liability.
Yeah.
Exactly, potential liability.
Potential.
Yeah.
Again,
Because it's lean for that.
they're dwelling on a first or second mortgage instead of dwelling on how much money is in front of
Right,
them.
which is really,
yeah.
Okay, so I would suggest maybe getting together with Alex, we go back to the borrowers and say, to really get this moving, let's try to just do any other possibilities, and, maybe before we go, we might really do this for,
Yeah.
go into.
I know they're
Going to the
actively-
ring on this one, so let's look at what trend, I was just telling you.
It's
not
going
going
to
to
be.
be.
Yeah, no, they're actively, they're not waiting on us, they're actively looking for other ways to secure. but,
Let's take this in a second direction too. Let's actually go back to Trenton, ask them to amend it so that we can do this. Just because the policy statement from 2011 exists, doesn't mean that they can't revisit it today. So we asked them, can we do this? And they said, so let's go back to them and say, we want to do this, and this is what we're proposing to do. Please, you know, give
I
us the
think if we
okay.
get a letter or a memo from our finance committee signing
Well,
on to this, that they're.
Let's
they're
make an
okay for
official
us.
application to them to be allowed to do it, rather than.
They'll have to respond.
Think so?
As you can say, it was discussed in that.
Yeah.
They're not using standard banking practice to vet the loans, right? So that's a view of the fact
Use
that.
principles, it's standard banking principles.
But I'm saying, they're not looking at the picture the right way.
We're not underwriting a loan like a bank underwrites.
No, I understand that, but they're looking at it just as,
Probably whoever wrote first or second didn't contemplate maybe a third or fourth.
Yeah, they just probably took some standard language, you know, some bank.
Maybe we'll take it a step further and propose some language and say,
Right.
there's enough equity,
Yeah.
we'll put it in there. If we demonstrate there's enough equity up to 90%.
Ellie, you draft some, as a banker,
Yeah.
a lender, some language for this? I mean, I'll put the letter together, but if I get some language from you.
Sure.
Is there a motion on the floor, what Red said?
Is that what they have now?
I think it was a motion.
Does it? Is there, no, yes?
It's yours.
We're good?
It's an administrative function.
Oh.
Paragraph 4.
And we said,
I sent it to you?
yeah.
Okay, so is that, the board wants to act on something?
No.
Just
we're cool.
recommendation,
We're
okay.
good.
Okay, okay, and then we have one more item that, John recommends we keep that for, closed session. So I'm done.
any committee reports?
Oh, the, local is obviously happening.
Yeah, Mike, yeah, I think we got about 4 or 5 more in the pipeline. Yeah.
None?
I'm done.
I'm saying, anyone,
Oh.
any committee reports, any?
For our committee report, we're still waiting, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more, I apologize, Mike, I do have one more item, sorry. So it was requested that we reach out to Blinds to Go, you know, to, as we all know, for many months, we've been attempting to, arrange a meeting with them to discuss, you know, the history of Lakewood hiring, you know, as they promised. So I sent out a letter, and I also copied it to the mayor and to Mike and to Sean. Sean also received a copy, requesting this meeting, and sent it out on February 20th. Essentially, it just reviews the benefits that we promised, that we gave to them and also committed to. And in addition, that their property is sitting with a $0 lease, 20-year lease with 3 additional options for 10 years that can go into 2050 on township property, you know, not having to pay a cent. So of course, they're getting a number of benefits. Also, I sent the hard copy to their chairman in Quebec, so he received one as well. Once again, just requesting it to a meeting. As of yet, I mean, I did send it on February 20th. We have not received a response yet, but.
What would be their problem if they wouldn't want to meet to discuss? I mean, they're not still receiving customized training funds or any of that.
No, not. So, I don't know. I don't know what, you know, what aversion they have to meet with us.
Well, it's still early.
Yeah, it is. It's only February 20th is when it went.
You're right, it's only been, what, Rabbi, about 13 years now?
Yeah, well, we'll put this on the agenda again for the next meeting to make sure that the board back if there was any response, and if there isn't, then we're tempted to see if we have any recourse benefits to get
Contract.
suspended or put them on hold until they do this.
Yeah, well, and copies of the contract and the lease were sent to Sean and to others, so.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll open the meeting to public comments.
Shloime Klein, there's a new member on the board. Was he sworn in?
Yes.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
yeah, we sworn in,
The last meeting.
the date.
It's okay.
Last week,
It was last week and a half?
no, week before that, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. in our office.
My question is to Rabbi Moshe Zev Weisberg. He is the member of the VAD and he is their spokesman. There was a video, a text message going around to all residents of Ocean County, only the Gentile ones, not the Jewish ones, but it was going around a text message with a video implying that the Jackson Township officials, government officials, are responsible for the Jersey City attack. I would like to ask him as a member of the VAD in this committee if he condemns this action of doing what whoever did it. And the second question that I have to him is, members of the Jackson Jewish community that live in Jackson, the residents were told not to communicate with Jackson officials till the Giddes Yisrael and the developer's lawsuit will be finished. My question is, as a member of the VAD and the head of this committee, if he is in the opinion that this should be a policy or not. Two questions. You could answer it, or you could just choose not to answer.
I have a question.
Well, let's finish the public comment.
I don't understand.
Let's finish the public comment portion.
And I know that the attorney and some members of the governing board over here will say is, we don't have to comment if it's not related to this committee. First of all is, you could choose not to comment, but me the right to speak and stopping me to speak might violate the Open Public Meetings Act, if you look at it. But regardless of if you choose to answer because it is related or not related, I had an opportunity, Rabbi Weisberg is over here, and he has an opportunity to answer, and if he chooses, with legal or not legal or moral, of whatever reason he wants, not to answer and find excuses, it's his choice. But I asked for his answer, if he condemns this action that was done of harassing the Jackson Township government officials. And the second question is if the policy of the VAD is in the opinion that the residents of Jackson should not communicate till the lawsuits are done. And I finished my case.
Motion to close?
Close the public comment, otherwise if you choose to respond.
I'm saying you don't understand the question.
Can't hear you.
It's not a back and forth. It's,
He just said something, I couldn't hear.
yeah, I heard him, he said that he's not gonna comment.
Okay.
Any comments by trustees? Seeing none. I would thank you for reporting me as chairman. We'll go to the consent agenda. There's nothing on the consent agenda, right?
Nope.
Okay. So we'll move on to non-consent agenda and we'll read resolutions separately. Motion to move resolution 20-3-1, which is the microloans of True OBGYN.
Move.
Mr. Coles, Mr. Renner. Roll call, please.
Kevin Coles,
Yes.
Mike McNeil,
Yes.
Diane Miller,
Yes.
Aaron Rennet,
Yes.
Lee Gold,
Yes.
Rabbi Weisberg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Motion to move resolution 20-3-2, which is the microloan to B&B Party Event. Move, Mr. McNeil.
Second.
Second, Mr. Renner. Roll call, please.
Ray Coles,
Yes.
Mike McNeil,
Yes.
Abraham Muller,
Yes.
Charlie Rennet,
Yes.
Lee Gold,
Yes.
Rabbi Weisberg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And a motion to move resolution 20-3-3, and that's the microloan to Blackman Teletherapist.
Move.
Mr. Rabbi Weisberg. Second, Mr. McNeil. Roll call, please.
Ray Coles,
Yes.
Mike McNeil,
Yes.
Abraham Muller,
Yes.
Charlie Rennet,
Yes.
Lee Gold,
Yes.
yes, motion carries. Oh, Rabbi Weisberg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
A motion to move into closed session.
Move.
Second, Rabbi Weisberg. And, Any other questions?
What's the reason for the close?
Contract discussion, and no vote is anticipated after we come back into open session.
Or closed session.
Motion to go into closed.
She has to read something or not? She doesn't have to.
Yeah, we had it.
All in favor?
All in favor?
All right.
Yeah, I thought we did it.
You might have, I'm getting
Yeah.
ahead.
All right, so I'm turning off the video.